G'day everyone and welcome back. Another beautiful sunrise reminds me of the blessings of being alive. Not everyone who woke yesterday will do so today. They may have had dreams yet to be fulfilled, regrets to be forgiven, or their potential still to be realised. Or they may have left peacefully, proud of their courage to live according to their values and calling. Either way, I feel grateful that I get to wake another day and to breathe in moments such as these and share them with you here. Spring has let go into summer, but in this high country it seemed later than I remember elsewhere. The dogs and I continue to embrace gentle walks in the cooler parts of the day, or sometimes just for a short stroll in the heat, giving me some time out from the computer. I've been working on a huge project, which I'll touch on briefly later, so it's been more computer time than I usually embrace these days. It's such a great place to clear the head again though. The wind blows all the tech away. We've also enjoyed some perfectly rainy days where I forget for a moment that the rest of the world exists as low clouds wrap me in my own private sanctuary. These are some of my favourite days. Rainy days always have been. The wallabies seem to come closer to the house during and after the rain. I love having them around. They're a smaller species of macropods than the kangaroos and seem to have a much gentler and more trusting nature. Perhaps their collective consciousness doesn't carry as much trauma that kangaroos do due to all the culling of them from white settlers and farmers over the years. All species are welcome here anyway, including this little mama and babe. I'm standing on the office ramp here using my phone so you can see how close she was. Bless her. The other wildflowers may have finished, but the dandelions bounced back in full swing after the rain. They're actually incredible plants, choosing to nourish depleted soil with their love, restoring its nutrition to a healthier state. As you can see with this wind, they dig that love in deeply to the soil, almost like a fierce mother refusing to let go of her child until it's well again. Flowers are blooming in my garden at last. This is very exciting. Interestingly, it is the cosmos that have arrived first. They've always been up there amongst my favourites in flowers. I'm loving the increasing colours from everything blooming now around the yard. The sunflowers are also opening, which adds a brightness to the garden that I hope will avoid the cockatoo's attention. And butterflies are everywhere, surviving the windy days, going about their business regardless. One of the unexpected things I love about living in this little home with a separate office is that the transit between the two strengthens my relationship with nature's elements more so than if I were living under one roof. The weather may have changed, or I notice the clouds floating by in the morning or afternoon sun, or I spot wildlife in various directions. There's always something worthy of my attention. I'm really enjoying this unexpected revelation about living this way. It keeps me so much more connected to outdoor life, regardless of the season. I've been making friends with the wind, as it's here more than not. I still notice it, but not in an inconvenient way. It's just a way of life now. A hidden blessing at this time of year is that it at least blows the flies away temporarily. I seem to notice the still days more than the windy now. The change between the two can be sudden, as if the wind sneaks away quietly and all is still again. We interrupt this episode for an important announcement. I was actually going to record this outside, but the wind calls the shots here and it wasn't worth the battle with the sound. Welcome back to my office. So just briefly, you may have noticed that this month's episode has been released early. That's because we're not only going into Christmas, but in Australia we're also going into the summer break, and my lovely assistant and I both take that time off. We close our office. So next month's vlog will continue back to the regular schedule now, which is at the end of the month. In the meantime though, on this channel, that huge video project that I've been working on, it's 100 daily prompts for no regrets. That's going to start being released during my absence or during the vlog's absence. and it will go beyond next month's. Its release will also go beyond next month's episode. But I just wanted to assure you that even though we're out of whack with this episode, and there'll be all of these short video releases after this in the new year, that next month's vlog goes back to the final week of the month again. So anyway, I've still got a couple of great stories to share with you here, so I'll get on with that now. I started noticing abandoned shells from cicadas covering some trees. Upon further investigation, they were everywhere. Cicadas are interesting creatures who spend about 17 years as immature insects underground. That's a long time. When they do surface, they do so as large groups to increase their chances of survival. Anything that likes insects at all likes to eat cicadas, but no predator can eat the quantity in which they surface as. Once they do come up, they mature into adults. Thankfully, I've spotted some live ones to show you too. Once they leave their shells behind, they mate, lay eggs, and then die. That's their life cycle completed after all those years in the ground. The shells they leave behind are also a rich source of nitrogen for the trees. But for most Australians living in rural areas, the cicadas are simply the sound of summer. Their hum is a vibration that is consistent with any hot day. Some may find it annoying if they only hear it once, as it doesn't stop at all during the days. But for those of us used to it after decades of summers, it's simply a sign that summer is here. Their hum rings out above any wind or bird song in the middle of the day. It's just there as a backdrop to the season, almost in a comforting way. As well as the flowers growing, so have been the veggies. Picking greens straight from my garden changes the joy of cooking and eating completely, especially knowing the freshness of it. I wish you could smell this. It tasted simple but absolutely scrumptious. We had some king parrots visit one morning, which was a great start to the day. And of course, life at the bird bath continues to the background summer soundtrack of the cicadas. All the regulars are back, as well as some newcomers to the scene. The magpies tried a bit of territorial behaviour that didn't seem to work with this rosella. And as much as I don't want the cockatoos in the garden, I can't deny being delighted to see them at the bird bath. Before I finish up by showing you what brought me the greatest joy this month, here are a few moments away from home since the last episode. A satisfied life isn't about focusing on the huge things at all. They are rare in life. If all we do is wait for those, we miss our whole life in the meantime. It's really about the moments in between and trying to be present enough to notice them. The thing that lifted my heart most this month was the return of the kangaroos. I couldn't mention it last month as I didn't know what was happening and was too unsettled to talk about it. But for the last month and a half, there were no kangaroos, only the wallabies. It was so strange to have had so many around and then none at all. One of my neighbours is a cattle farmer on over 1,000 acres. He hires a shooter to keep the vermin under control, like the wild pigs and foxes. Hunters are also licensed to kill kangaroos, despite them being native animals. They cull them to protect farmland, to breed cattle for steaks and sausages. As a wildlife lover and a non-steak eater, living between cattle farmers, I absolutely hate this hunting reality, as I'm sure you can imagine. So when all the roos disappeared suddenly, I feared the worst but prayed for the best. I hoped they'd just moved to a distant mountain for a while, or that their visits here are seasonal. And after not seeing any for weeks on end, there they were, back in one day. I'd almost forgotten how great it feels having so many kangaroos around. Life feels normal again now, even if they do freeze when they see the camera, determining whether I am a threat or not before resuming their eating or hopping away. So I think the return of the roos is a pretty happy note to finish this final episode for the year on. Thanks for the time we've shared here. See you next month.